Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at INJECTIVE Protocol. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. So we were looking at two options here where we were treating this as either a low in place over here and looking to actually push away from this zone, or alternatively we were talking about that possibility of having a correction to the downside. So we're going to go over the bearish scenario first, and then we're going to go over that bullish one and what we need to see happen for each of these to actually play out. So within the bearish scenario here, what we are looking for is a bigger ABC pattern to the downside, where we're treating this as an A wave, this is a B wave, and still looking for this C wave to the downside. So this C wave can typically come down to this 1-to-1 level towards this 0.421 area. Now, it is also possible we could see this truncate. Typically, what I want to see with a C wave is I want to see the break of the A wave, which would be sitting down here towards this $1.13. Now, if we do break this low, this would be sufficient enough for the C wave, as it would have crossed this 0.618. If, however, we do fall short, it is technically possible to complete on this 0.618, so we'll have to keep an eye on the structure. If we developed a 5-wave move to the downside, something like this, which came into the 0.618, we would have to be cautious that this is not actually the C wave completed. But some other areas that we have here are the 786 towards this 82 cent, the 854 towards the 66 cents, and then obviously that 1-to-1 that we have lower down here. So we're going to go over this. And now the reason that I don't like this count as it is shown here is that the time difference between this W wave and this Y wave is quite a big difference. Now, it's possible that this could actually still be incomplete, this Y wave, and we could actually see something else play out where we get a deeper correction here and an additional leg to the upside. So this is what I'm just being aware of here. It is technically possible we come up to this 1-to-1 here of this W wave. So what we could actually start to see is this rejection. However, if we are looking for that possibility of having this move looking to actually, continue up here one more time, what we could see is something along these lines, where we would have to treat this then as A, B, C for an A wave. This is an A, B, and a C for a B wave here, and then looking for an additional C wave to the upside. Now, this would actually look to move up towards a $17 range here. This would be quite an interesting level because it would be looking to actually come back into these previous highs. So this would be quite an interesting level to keep an eye on here, particularly this 1669, as it would be a retest of the swing high here. Now, this could actually tie into the idea of coming back up into the channel that we have here, as well as looking to potentially test out this 1.382. As a maximum, I would want to see this actually go up to this 1.618. If it does, we got to just be cautious that there isn't other structure actually playing out here where we're getting an extension in the bullish count. So we will go over that in a second. But this C wave could still look to be in play here. Now, if we are looking for this potential, what we'd be looking for, if I come down here into the shorter time frame, is actually looking for two things. So we could treat this as a corrective structure where this becomes A, B, and C. So this would be looking to tie into that idea of actually coming back into this channel line, which is looking to retest this support zone here of this 0.494 to this 3.30. Now, if we do actually look to move in here, we can see that this is an A, B, and a C would actually look to bring us down into this area here between this 50% and this 618. So this could be quite an interesting zone. Now, I would be keeping an eye on this channel if we do actually move down into this level. So if we look at the higher end of this move, what I am looking for here is it does look like there is potential that this is incomplete. Now, it's possible that we could still have an additional fourth wave here, an additional fifth wave rather, to the upside, which could look to push us up towards the zone of this $8.27 to this $7.93. Now, if this is the case, this would then actually put us closer to that 1-to-1. So of this A wave, B wave, and looking for the C wave, this 1-to-1 of the A wave here would actually be up here at this $8.19. So I would be on the lookout for the potential. We could still see an additional push to the upside here in a 5-wave sequence, looking to actually test out this zone of this $8.27 to this $7.93. Now, this could be an interesting zone because this could actually bring us back into this 618 area, which would be here at this $7.99. This would also look to potentially bring us back into the swing high here towards the zone of this $7.98. so this could be quite an interesting level. If we do look to move up into this zone, we could look to actually retest this and then look for further rejection. So going to be keeping an eye on this. If we do, however, start to break out of this level and start to get above this 786 here at this 880 region, what this could then mean is that we're actually potentially looking at the bullish count, which would be looking to play out. So this would be treating this move as a B, and a C, looking for that downside, you know, for this $4.37, and this would tie into that additional B wave that we're looking for here. Now, what we need to be cautious of here is that if we are looking to actually break down directly, what we could see is something more along these lines, where we actually treat this as a 1-2. This is another 1-2 here, and then we could actually start to break down in a bigger way. So even if we do get that additional fifth wave to the upside here, as long as we actually remain below this high that we have here towards this $9.26, this could actually mean that we look to break down in a bigger 5-wave sequence. Now, if we do look to break down in a 5-wave sequence, which does manage to pass this $3.43, this would then tie into the idea of a bigger 4th and a 5th, looking at this as a wave that is actually starting to extend out to the downside. Now, the key thing here is that if we did get a bigger retracement like this, where we have this as a 5-wave move, we'd have to then allow for the fact that we would be looking for that potential of an additional 3-wave move to the upside, which could look to reject between this $7.47 to this $5.08 before actually looking for continuation to the downside. Because typically speaking, what we will look for when we get a single 5-wave move like this is an additional 5-wave move. Now, that additional 5-wave move could look to actually become impulsive, in which case what that could do is actually look to start playing out with this this bigger C wave that we have here, where this whole move here would then become a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, looking for potentially pushing into this 1-to-1. So that's what we need to be cautious of on the bearish scenario here, where we could actually see this look to break down. So now for the bullish scenario, what we were talking about is a couple of things here. We were talking about the potential of this actually extending out. Now, this does look quite complicated, and what this would be looking for is effectively that we have this as a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then looking for this to extend to the upside. So now, if we're looking at it in this way, what we would need to do is actually maintain this low here of this $3.63, and then we'd need to see this move start to push to the upside. Now, if this move does something like this, 3-wave move up here and an additional push to the downside, it becomes less likely that we're actually going to be looking at it in this way, because then it becomes more likely that we have a different structure playing out here. Now, if we do look at it in this way, what we'd want to see is this start to build 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, looking for this 28.79 area as a target. If we do manage to move up into this 28.79 area, we could then find an additional 4th and a 5th wave, which would then be looking for this $43 to this $33 as a 5th wave target. If we do then find this as an additional 5th wave target here, we'd be looking for an additional 4th and a 5th, looking for the 63.69 to the 45.49, then an additional 4th and a 5th, which could actually look to push us as high as this 108 to the $68 level. Now, this would be looking at a much bigger impulse here. Obviously, once we get up into these regions here, it is obviously well above these highs, so it becomes less likely that this is actually going to break down again. At least it would be more probable that we would look for a retest of these highs before looking for continuation again to the upside. So we'll have to keep an eye on this as it develops here, but this is the most bullish scenario here. Now, we could also argue that instead of looking at it in that way, as this is a 1-2, 1-2, what we could say is that we have something like this here, where this is actually 1-2, and this is all actually forming that 3rd wave directly. So the target zone that we are looking for here is we would be looking for this area here of this 1943. So we can see that this target would actually fall short here. We would be looking for this as, you know, a 5th wave looking to push to the upside, but we would need to see some kind of an extension here for this to reach this 1943. So technically it's possible. We did come down a bit deeper than I would have liked to for this 4th wave, so we have hold the area though. So as long as we actually keep these lows and continue to push up, this is still a viable count. But we need to just be aware that obviously if this does break out much higher here, it becomes more likely that we do have that 1-2, 1-2 situation playing out. But as long as we actually hold this low here of this $5.58, we can potentially look for this to start extending out and looking to target out this area here, which would then become our third wave. We'd be looking for a fourth and then that fifth wave continuation. So now I'm going to come here into these smaller time frames, and we're going to discuss what we want to see happen if we are looking at this as actually playing out as a breakout. Okay, so what we would then be looking to argue here is that we have this as a wave 1 as a diagonal pattern, this is a wave 2, and then we'd be looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this 5-wave pattern here is valid for as long as we continue to hold this 690 area, but I also wouldn't want to see this fourth wave get too much bigger. Now, I would be looking out for that potential that within here we have this as an A, this is a B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for a fifth wave down. So it's possible we could actually still see a little bit more downside come in here. Typically speaking, as a fifth wave, what we would be looking for would be a move down here towards this area of this 704 to this $6.95. However, you know, it's possible that we could actually just look to have a break of this low and then look to reverse. Now, the key thing here is that if this is a flat correction, what we would want to see is a strong move to the upside off the back of this, a nice strong impulse to the upside, looking for this range of this $8.15 to this $7.89. The key thing here is because of the fact that, you know, we could also just count this as A, B, C, we need to be careful that if we fail to actually maintain this low here of the $6.06, this would invalidate the idea of looking to actually extend out. Now, what we'd be looking for within this count would actually be 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we'd be looking for this to actually build up here in this third wave, where we'd be looking for this target of this $10.54. We want to see another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up into this area, an additional fourth wave, looking to hold this $9.50 to this $8.43, and then looking to push up towards this $11.71 to this $10.97. This would then give us that potential of having this blue wave count completed. Now, if we did push up to that higher point there, what we could then see is that we would have reached the 1.618 plus of this yellow count, which means that we could see an additional fourth and a fifth, which means we could see a push up towards this 1303 to this 1190 area. Now, this would be looking at a completed move here then, where we would be arguing that this move is then completed to the upside, where this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if I throw the other count on here, we can see that this would actually push us up into this target box here, which would be this 1379 to this 1115. So this is a possibility of a fifth wave location. Now, this wouldn't really tie into the idea of actually extending to this 1943 though, so we're going to have to keep an eye on this and see what happens. However, you know, until we actually break down and take this low again here of this $2.45, we could also just have this move become an additional wave 1 and a 2 here, and then we actually still look to push to the upside. So as long as we continue to set these higher lows, we do have that bullish potential here, but we need to just see it follow through. You know, we need to see the price action follow through, and basically within this secondary count here, what we'd be looking for is confirmation of this fifth wave into this area, getting an additional wave 2 to the downside here, and then looking to push to the upside again for this stronger wave 3. Losing this $6.43 would make this less probable, and losing this low here of this $6.05 would invalidate this count. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.